Since I've been a little girl, I never would go against you. And I think I'm really fed up.
When you're sitting on millions and your face is everywhere, the last thing you'd ever expect is your own child calling you out. But that's exactly what went down when these rappers' kids finally got tired of empty promises and took to their phones to expose some uncomfortable truths about their fathers. Let's kick things off with Dr. Dre and his daughter, LaToya Young. When people hear Dr. Dre's name, they think legendary production, timeless albums, and a business empire worth close to $1 billion. But in 2021, that image took a serious hit when his eldest daughter, LaToya, came forward with a story that shocked everybody. At 38 years old, she revealed in interviews that she was homeless, despite her father being one of the richest and most powerful figures in hip-hop. Don't let that sink in for a moment. The daughter of one of the most successful producers in music history was living out of a rented SUV, juggling multiple gig jobs with DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Postmates just to survive. She explained that she hadn't received any financial help from Dr. Dre since January 2020, and even before that, the support was spotty at best, usually handled through his team instead of coming directly from him. The gap between LaToya's struggle and her father's massive wealth had people online in disbelief, with many questioning how something like this could even be possible.
Dr. Dre's estranged daughter says she can't afford an apartment and is living out of her rental car. How do you feel as a 38-year-old woman sleeping in your car, a rental car, and your father is a billionaire, almost a billionaire?
LaToya also revealed that she hadn't spoken directly to her father in more than 17 years, even though she tried multiple times to reach out and rebuild some kind of relationship. She said she didn't even have his personal phone number and was forced to go through his team for any communication, which only deepened the feeling of being shut out. As a single mother raising 4 kids, she opened up about her situation to outlets like the Daily Mail, even sharing photos of where she was staying and saying she was still hoping for some type of breakthrough. When people started asking why Dre wouldn't step in to help his own daughter, reports claimed his team gave a clear explanation for why the financial support was cut off.
Will not give her money because she has spoken negatively about him in the press. I feel like you should have a trust for your children. If you have that much money, every single child should have a trust. All of them.
Dr. Dre never publicly addressed those claims, and as of 2026, there's been no reported reconciliation, making this one of the most disturbing examples of alleged parental neglect in hip-hop. While LaToya was fighting just to get basic support from her wealthy father, the next story flips the script. This time it's a son who made it clear that money was never the issue. Let's talk about 50 Cent and his son, Marquise Jackson. The long-running public fallout between 50 and Marquise has turned into one of the most well-known father-son feuds in entertainment, dragging on for more than a decade with no real end in sight. Over the years, Marquise has repeatedly taken to social media, especially Instagram, calling out his father for what he describes as emotional absence and choosing fame and business over family. The roots of their conflict trace back to a bitter custody battle in the early 2000s between 50 Cent and Marquise's mother, Shaniqua Tompkins, and things have only deteriorated since then. In 2022, Marquise made headlines when he publicly offered $6,700, the exact amount of his monthly child support at the time, just to spend 24 hours with his dad. It was a powerful statement meant to show that he wasn't chasing money, but connection. Marquise wanted people to know his pain went deeper than dollars, and when he was asked what he really wanted from his father, he didn't hesitate to make his priorities crystal clear.
He believes that, from his perspective, he thinks I'm entitled when that's not the case. Like, it's never been about the money for me. It's more so the relationship and for me, personally.
The latest flare-up happened on Father's Day 2025 when Marquise posted a sarcastic AI-generated betting slip on social media, mocking the chances of 50 Cent ever publicly claiming him or repairing their relationship. He compared it to a high-stakes gamble where the house always wins. He went on to accuse his father of cutting him out of the will and failing to offer guidance throughout his life. And even after years of public tension and back and forth, Marquise has still said he's open to the idea of reconciling, even if right now it feels like a long shot.
I don't know what to expect from the situation. If we do have a sit down, I don't necessarily know what to expect or what it looks like. But if it takes me paying him for his time, I'm more than willing to do that. Maybe we could just gain understanding of each other.
50 Cent fired back at the ongoing criticism by pointing out that he's paid over $1 million in child support and placing the blame on Marquise's mother for turning his son against him, even though both sides have occasionally hinted at wanting peace. Still, nothing has been resolved, and the painful back and forth continues to expose just how deep the damage in their relationship really runs. While Marquise Jackson is dealing with the pain of an estranged father who's still alive, This next story involves a son carrying the complicated legacy of a father who passed away years ago. Let's talk about Big Pun and his son, Chris Rivers. The relationship between the late Bronx legend Big Pun and Chris Rivers has been explored publicly through Chris's music and interviews, shedding light on the dark and complicated history of domestic violence within their family. In November 2017, Chris released the music video for Fear of My Crown from his album DeLorean, which portrayed a multi-generational cycle of physical and emotional abuse inside the home. Chris, who was only 5 years old when Big Pun died in 2000 from a heart attack linked to obesity, pulled from his own experiences growing up in what he described as a deeply abusive environment. He spoke openly about witnessing both subtle and severe forms of abuse, and how it led to struggles with confidence, depression, self-worth, and long-term trauma things many families try to hide instead of confronting. The song and video sparked major controversy across the hip-hop community. Some fans praised Chris for his courage in addressing taboo topics like domestic violence and child abuse, seeing it as an important wake-up call. Others, however, accused him of disrespecting his father's legacy and tarnishing the image of one of hip-hop's greatest lyricists. In response to the backlash, Chris released a statement video on November 9, 2017, clarifying that while the song was inspired by real experiences, the visuals were not meant to be a literal recreation of his own household or his father specifically. He explained it was a broader representation meant to help victims feel seen and empowered to break the cycle. Chris also stressed his love and respect for his father's musical legacy, saying he honors Big Pun through his own career while still confronting painful truths. So history doesn't repeat itself. As of 2026, Chris continues to release music that balances tribute to his legendary father with raw, personal reflection about his upbringing. While Chris Rivers processed his childhood trauma through art, this next story takes a different turn. This time, it's a daughter exposing what she described as ongoing emotional abuse from her famous father in real time. Let's get into Boosie Badazz and his daughter, Tory Hatch. This is easily one of the wildest and most disrespectful family feuds to ever explode on social media. In August 2023, the internet went crazy when Boosie's daughter, Tori, who was just 16 at the time, went live on Instagram and put her father on blast over family issues that had been happening behind closed doors. What she revealed during that live had people shocked and questioning everything they thought they knew about Boosie as a father. During the stream, Tori played an audio recording of a phone call with her dad that had everyone disturbed. In the clip, Boosie could be heard going off on his teenage daughter, calling her names and threatening to hit her, even saying he would black her eye if she kept being disrespectful. He also told her he was cutting her out of the will and stopping all financial support. That audio spread across the internet fast, and people everywhere were calling Boosie out for emotional abuse and toxic parenting toward his own child. But Boosie wasn't about to let his daughter control the narrative. Not long after Tori's live went viral, he went live himself, confirmed the recording was real, and doubled down on everything he said. He admitted to taking back the Mercedes he had given her for her birthday, saying it was punishment for being ungrateful and choosing to stay with her mother instead of living with him. He defended his behavior as tough love rooted in how he was raised in Louisiana. In her emotional livestream, Tori made it clear that while her father may provide financially, there was a serious lack of emotional and mental support, and that was the real issue for her.
You gonna make sure your kid's straight. You always gonna do that. But emotionally, mentally, you suck. You suck, bro.
Tori's words hit hard, exposing a side of their father-daughter relationship that most fans had never seen before. She said it hurt watching her dad give time and energy to interviewers and podcast hosts while refusing to sit down and talk to her. The drama didn't stop with those live streams either. Boosie later dropped a diss track aimed at Tori and her mother, taking the situation to another level. As of early 2026, there have been no reports of any reconciliation, leaving fans wondering if this father-daughter bond can ever truly be repaired. While Tori was fighting for emotional attention from a father who's still alive and active, this next story follows a son who says he spent over a decade being completely ignored. Let's talk about Ghostface Killah and his son, Infinite Coles. In May 2023, the hip-hop world was stunned when Infinite Coles, the son of Wu-Tang legend Ghostface Killah, took to Instagram with a raw and emotional post calling out his father. Infinite accused Ghostface of being a chronic deadbeat, laying out what he described as a lifetime of neglect and abandonment that caused him deep emotional pain. The accusations were heavy and painted a disturbing picture of the iconic rapper's role as a parent.
The biggest deadbeat in the world, let him tell it. He said he's the biggest deadbeat in the world, never did anything for him. During COVID, he was sleeping in a shelter. They've been homeless, having their gas turned off, never gave him $1.
In his long Instagram post, Infinite said he hadn't had a real conversation or in-person visit with Ghostface in over 15 years, even after countless attempts to reach out through texts and phone calls. He shared screenshots of unanswered messages stretching across an entire decade as proof of what he called his father's neglect. It was his way of showing the world how many times he tried and failed to connect with the man who brought him into this. World.Infinite also spoke about growing up broke, without basic necessities like electricity and gas, claiming his father allowed his children to struggle while uncle stepped in with occasional help. He pointed to an especially painful chapter during the 2020 COVID pandemic, when he spent nearly a year living in a homeless shelter without a single check-in or offer of support from his dad. What made his message even more emotional was the fact that he kept stressing that his pain was never about money.
He's crying out for help, seeming like he just needs a father. Say he doesn't want his money, he just wants his love.
Infinite later revealed that Ghostface blocked him after the post, which only pushed him to speak even louder about his experience. The story carried into 2025, when Infinite turned his pain into music, releasing tracks like Sweet Face Killer that directly addressed the distance and hurt. As of January 2026, there's still been no public reconciliation, and Ghostface has remained silent. While Infinite used social media and music to process his pain with no resolution in sight, this next situation proves that sometimes these public family conflicts can actually lead to healing. Let's talk about Master P and his son, Romeo Miller. The emotional and very public fallout between No Limit founder Master P and Romeo exploded in December 2022 on social media, triggered by the family's deep grief over the death of Romeo's sister, Titania Miller, earlier that year. She tragically passed away from an accidental fentanyl overdose at just 29, leaving the entire family heartbroken and searching for answers. In the middle of that pain, Romeo went to Instagram stories and accused his father of neglecting the family's mental health, specifically blaming Master P for not prioritizing therapy and emotional support for Titania during her long struggle with addiction and mental illness. Romeo felt more could have been done if the issues were confronted head-on instead of being masked with strength and silence. He expressed frustration that his father focused more on building the empire and delivering motivational speeches about toughness than addressing the family's internal pain. Romeo made it clear that money and fame couldn't heal generational trauma, and that what they needed was real emotional intervention, not just public resilience. Master P responded with a long Instagram message offering peace, expressing love for all his children, and acknowledging the heavy grief the family was dealing with. He extended an olive branch while also defending his efforts and hinting that misunderstandings and outside influence may have fueled the tension. The conflict, though intense, didn't last long. By 2023 and into 2025, signs of healing started to show, including joint appearances and even performing together at Essence Festival 2025, where father and son shared the stage. In late 2025 interviews, Master P confirmed the beef was fully squashed and spoke about growth on both sides. As of early 2026, their relationship appears strong, turning a painful chapter into one of reconciliation and unity. While Master P and Romeo found their way back through grief, this next story takes a darker turn with no healing in sight. Uncle Luke and his daughter, Cree Campbell. Back in June 2010, Miami rap pioneer Uncle Luke, also known as Luther Campbell, was rocked by scandal when his 18-year-old daughter Cree posted a series of explosive YouTube videos accusing him of being a deadbeat father, abusing her mother, and emotionally abandoning his children, despite portraying himself publicly as a devoted family man. Cree detailed alleged incidents of domestic violence she witnessed growing up, including claims that Luke hit her mother. She criticized him for choosing his career and new family over his older children, leaving them feeling ignored while he lived in fame and comfort. She also called out what she saw as the hypocrisy of his public image versus his behavior behind closed doors. Luke initially brushed off the accusations during a red carpet interview at the VH1 Hip Hop Honors, suggesting they were exaggerated and rooted in unresolved family tension. But by the end of June 2010, things escalated when Luke publicly disowned most of his children, saying they hated him, rarely contacted him, and had been poisoned against him by their mothers. He emphasized that he had paid over $10 million in child support and covered education and living expenses, but felt betrayed by their public attacks. He framed cutting them off as something he needed to do for his own mental health and his current family. The backlash was heavy. Some people criticized Luke for being cold and immature, while others acknowledged the complexity of blended families under public pressure. As of 2026, there's been no public reconciliation between Luke and Cree, leaving this as another example of fame colliding with family in destructive ways. While Uncle Luke's daughter spoke out years ago, this next rapper's daughter waited until her own career took off before exposing her father, Benzino and his daughter Coi Leray. The highly publicized fallout between former Source magazine co-owner Benzino and rising star Coi Leray has played out on social media for years. Things really heated up in April 2022 after Coi's appearance on The Breakfast Club, where she opened up about growing up broke and implied her father wasn't around financially. After that interview, Benzino allegedly sent threatening messages to Coi and her mother, which she exposed online. She called him bitter and evil, accusing him of trying to sabotage her instead of supporting her success. In emotional videos, Coi made it clear she was tired of him trying to rewrite history. She also called him out for not acknowledging birthdays, holidays, or major milestones while still trying to benefit from her rising fame, including pushing her to appear on Growing Up Hip Hop. The final straw came in May 2024 when Benzino went on Drink Champs and made statements Coi found unforgivable. She publicly disowned him, saying DNA doesn't make you family. As of January 2026, there's been no reconciliation. Coi has stayed focused on her music, motherhood, and peace. While Coi dealt with an absent and allegedly bitter father, this next case involves a daughter exposing emotional abuse, Russell Simmons and his daughter Aoki Lee Simmons. The conflict exploded over Father's Day weekend in June 2023 when Aoki accused her father of years of verbal and emotional abuse. At just 20 years old, Aoki shared tearful videos, screenshots, and recordings showing what she described as hostile and erratic behavior. She talked about trying to build her career while feeling like her father was actively working against her. She claimed his behavior caused severe anxiety and panic attacks. The situation reportedly escalated after her sister posted a Father's Day tribute to their mother instead of Russell. Aoki accused Russell of name-calling, threatening her career, and harassing people in her life. Her mother, Kimora Lee Simmons, supported her publicly, calling Russell's behavior abusive. Russell responded with mixed apologies and denials, suggesting Kimora had turned the kids against him. By late 2023, the posts were deleted, but tension remained. Reports in 2025 hinted at partial healing, though no full reconciliation has been confirmed as of January 2026. While Aoki dealt with emotional abuse from a present father, this next case involves children who accuse their dad of caring more about reality TV than real parenting. Kirk Frost and his children. The drama around Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star Kirk Frost exploded during the 2016-2017 seasons after it was revealed he had an affair that resulted in a child. This shattered his family and deeply affected his marriage to Rashida. His eldest son, Christopher, had already been distant for years, saying he hadn't seen his father consistently since age 12. The affair only made things worse, with multiple kids expressing that Kirk was more present for cameras than for real life. Jasmine Washington later accused Kirk of being a fake TV parent and not being hands-on with their son. In October 2025, Kirk issued a public apology and said he was committed to doing better. While Christopher eventually reconciled, the damage from the scandal remains a defining moment in their family story.